Hi, intrepid viewers. Yes, COVID hair. What can you say? I've resorted to my schoolgirl days. So, just a zillion things happening a day. So, before I get into all of this stuff and the stock market, let's just recap on a few things this week. So, the best news I heard this week was that Trump's demon spawn, which includes, of course, Ivanka, the Yeti Jr., and Eric, Paul Frito, are losing their protective services at the end of the month. Bliss, bliss. Then, remember our last video, I was talking about Sidney Powell. She's that weird woman lawyer who was supporting Trump and is still supporting Trump, right? You know the one, she's like Marie Antoinette on Xanax or something. She said he can be elected president again. We just have to change not elected, he can just be made president again just by changing the inauguration date. And she's the one who famously said, "Who'd believe the lies I told?" That was her defense when she prattled all this fiction. That was her defense. No sensible person would believe these lies I told. She still has her law license. Pourquoi? I don't understand. I really don't. But someone who's standing up on the side of real people and real issues. This is Pennsylvania, right? And they're trying to introduce a law that insists any woman who has a miscarriage has to either cremate or bury the remains. I'm sorry, this is inhuman stuff. Who dreams up these Handmaid's Tales legislation? And to his credit, Democrat Brian Sims stood up to them. And he said, this caucus is 100% white, it's 70% male. This is a misogynistic law. And at that point, his microphone was cut. You know. But full marks to Brian Sims. He did stand up to them. Oh, and then he was booed. And he said, your boos mean nothing to me because I know what you cheer for. So I think that was sort of quite a good pushback under the circumstances. So Pennsylvania is going to the walls too. Pennsylvania viewers, please make a comment and let me know what you think about all this. Okay, so today, we're going to cover the stock market because it's been in an artificial bubble for a very long time and we have to have a look. But first, I want to have a look at Joe Manchin again, just quickly, because no one can really work out why he was voting against all these things. He comes from West Virginia, represents West Virginia. 78% of the population want the infrastructure bills. Same number want good voters' rights. So he's cutting his own throat. Why is he doing it? AOC pointed out it's because of a clause in the new bill that wants to look at lobbying money and dark money sent to backers. So let's have a quick look at Joe Manchin, then we'll move to the stock market. Joe Manchin. He's just dreadful, just dreadful. These people have no shame. Joe Manchin. Let me bring you down here, viewers. Okay. Well, he had to decide what he was going to do when he was offered a huge amount of money. According to AOC, he has been backed probably indirectly by the last remaining Koch brother. Remember the Koch brothers, and now one died and there's Charles left. He was the one pushing the fool's gold or the dark money to Manchin. Manchin was kind of naive in that he thought, and when I read on him a couple of months ago, his thinking was, I hold the balance of power, right? You know, aren't I amazing? And I'm just this little boring man, you know, with the brain of a toadstool, an IQ 5 points higher than Trump, and I have the balance of power. Isn't that amazing? So he was incredibly naive about it. Now things are shifting because this is my fabulous USA card, the best of USA. When things go well, this is the star card. It's the most gorgeous card in the tarot deck. He's out in the cold and out of step with his own voters, who are more or less, you know, regular Americans in many ways, and at least 78% of them can work out which side their bread is buttered. He's up against them, and he is stressed out beyond belief. Well, so what? You know, we shouldn't embrace other people's unhappiness, tension, or misery. But sometimes, you know what, there's a quiet satisfaction in knowing they're really, really stressed and miserable. So that's an update on Manchin for you. And now we're going to go to the stock market. Now, long-term intrepid viewers will be well aware, one of my pet hobby horses is saying the stock market is not the economy. They're barely related, actually. But we're all taught by our own governments to think of a booming stock market as a fabulous thing, and that translates magically into jobs and everything. No, it doesn't. That happens in the economy, and the stock market makes money for the top 10%. Yes, before you email me or comment or anything, I understand a lot of people have their 401ks and the superannuation, as we call it in Australia, tied up with the stock market. I do understand that. But all of us combined are this much, less than 1%, sorry, less than 10% of the overall stock market. The big players are the ones that matter. And you know what? It isn't you and it isn't me. So it's not that I'm not sympathetic if you lose money on the stock market, because I'm affected too. What I am saying is that's not the economy. Okay. So stock market, we'll look at it over the summer. Let's have a look at it over the summer. Over the summer. Before another minute goes by. Sunday in America. It's Monday here in Australia. Coming to you from tomorrow. Your Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be doing a live collaboration with Hogarth in the UK. And he's a fabulous new young reader and astrologer who's coming through the works, based in the UK. I first saw him on Diane's tarot. Thanks, Diane. So if you want to live stream with moi and Hogarth, you go to his YouTube channel, just called Hogarth. It'll say Astrologer Tarot or something. 5 p.m. Sunday Eastern Time, and whatever that is for you in the rest of the US and the world. I would love to see you there. So let's get back into the stock market. Oh, I don't know how it's kept going, but we'll see what we can find out about it. Oh. Well, you know. What have we got in the middle? I'm glad you asked, viewers. We've got the devil card. The stock market at the end of the day is a global casino, right? And the devil in modern tarot is about addictions, bad behavior, sabotaging behaviors and so forth, but addictions, including gambling addictions. And it's a giant gamble. The whole thing is a giant gamble. Now, past actions of the stock exchange, I'd say by past, we're talking about the last couple of years, going gung-ho, going absolute gangbusters, regardless of the headwinds, which were COVID and everything else, okay, going for it. Coming up now, it's slightly different. The senior players, that's the old money, the blue stocks sort of types that really know the stock market inside out, have made fortunes on it, but also have other assets. So if the entire thing collapsed, they'd still be doing well. Thank you. Those ones are now a bit worried and realizing they're in for a bit of a battle. Right. Energy over the issue of the stock market, the moon. Now, the moon can be a lovely card about intuition and dreams and the deep and wonderful subconscious, or it can be lies and deceit. So given that it's sitting straight over the devil card, you'd have to lean towards lies and deceit. See, what they're doing is propping it up, propping it up, propping it up. Now, this card is what I call an outlier because it doesn't fit the Three of Cups. So why it doesn't fit is it's a card of celebration. It usually talks about women celebrating, although it doesn't have to be. So why is it there? I think this is part of the illusion of keeping it going, just keeping the party going, literally keeping the party going, because the stock market is all about confidence and keeping each other reassured, meaning the players in the stock market, keeping each other reassured so it doesn't collapse when you go to sleep one night, right? That's what they've got to keep doing. Outcome. I have to share this with you. This is the death card. Now, we always try and say it's not about literal death, blah, blah, blah. But this is the death card. And who's been trampled? It's trampled the Yeti a few times in the last few years, let me tell you. It even looks like the Yeti there. The king is being trampled. So if you look at the imagery on this card, it tells its own story about the stock market. You have this religious figure begging the figure of death to spare the king. But death doesn't spare the king. It spares no one. Right. So I think there is going to be a rumble, and not just in the jungle. And I think it's going to be quite a tour de force. Without being a 2008 collapse, the big power brokers will do everything for that not to happen, not because they care about us, but because they don't want to lose money. They will do everything to stop it being that bad. But it will be a significant, I think, a sort of wave, a little mini wave up, a bit of a crash, and then a bit of a climb back. I've got this wave motion sort of, I'm hearing waves. I think it's going to be like this. Okay. It's not a situation where you have to pull out your hard currency and put it in your mattress, but it is something to be very careful about. So if you, particularly in terms of real estate, particularly in terms of long-term financial decisions, really think about it and be very careful. So if you're umming and ahhing between a risky sort of short-term thing that may make more money and a long-term, more secure thing, I think go for the more subdued approach. Just be very careful. My takeaway message is don't assume it's just going to go on. There is some sort of blowback. Oh, I just heard elastic band. It's like it's been taken out and out and out. The whole global economy, you know, has been ground to the dust with COVID, and yet the stock market's fine. Why is this? It's an apparition. It's literally an apparition. So the elastic stretched and it's going to ping back and then sort of vibrate for a while. I've got this vibration thing coming on. So just be very careful with your money. Please, please. Okay. The only consolation I see in it for people who have no money, and I know that was certainly me in the 87 and the 2008 thing, is you've got nothing to lose, right? A lot of other people have more to lose. So it's one of the consolations of being part of the marginalised economic group. So be careful. That's what I've got to say. So in the meantime, don't forget Sunday, which I think is your tomorrow or something, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go to YouTube, go to Hogarth, and I'll see you there. That would be fabulous. Thank you so much, and thanks for watching. Bye.